All right. So we have our bands, and why don't we just go ahead, drape them around your neck just so you'll have them handy. We'll use them in just a moment. In the meanwhile, let's go ahead and roll those shoulders up, back, and down a couple times. Bend the elbows. Make a bigger range of motion, exaggerate, rolling your shoulders, round them, open your arms, elbows squeeze, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then do that again, round, lift, stretch up, and then squeeze back and down. Take a slightly wider stance, bend those knees. This time you're gonna round into that cat, inhale into that cow, and go through that a few times with your own breath, exhaling to round into the cat, inhaling to roll into the cow. Beautiful. And then stay in that cow position. Let's drop the right shoulder in, look up over the left. And then opposite direction. And then here we are in that cow again. We're going to bring those hands together like we did a moment ago. Round, lift, squeeze, and come down. Then we're going to take that band. We're going to bring it underneath our armpits. We're going to go into that wider stance. We're going to pull our abs in. We're going to bend the knees just a little bit. So just a little plie, because I don't want that booty back too much. I want you to actually be in more of that plie position. And then maybe between your thumbs and your index fingers, we're just going to go out and around like you're hugging a tree. A bit of chest work. You get to determine how much tension you want on this. I've got kind of mild tension at this point. We're just warming up. But as we press, try and keep those ribs pulled down. So you have that awareness of those abs. And then this time, I'd like you to try elbows here in that stick up position and then up and in. And I know my fingers are disappearing, right? So we're getting some chest work, but now we're also getting some deltoid work. And at the very end, as you squeeze and straighten, you get a little bit of tricep. So try and get those arms a little straighter than you expect to do at the end of the range of motion. And relax, roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Let's get some work going the other way. So once again, wide stance, right between your thumbs and your index fingers. We're just going to squeeze back, elbows in line with your shoulders, getting a little rowing motion. And then we're going to bring those up, and then we're going to pull back and down. So we're going to come up, pull back and down. Again, I'll back up just a little bit. Really squeeze the shoulder blades at the back, hold them for a second to keep the ribs in. 2 more like that. And last time, squeeze back and down. Beautiful. Shoulders roll up, back, and down. Hopefully we felt all of that in the upper body. Let's do just a little bit for the lower body. So we're going to step into that band with the left foot. We're going to move the band ends into the right hand. We're going to turn and face the palm towards the front. Step out, bend that right knee, and just kind of lock some tension on that band with that left hand. And then we're going to turn the left toes in. I said right hand. Anyway, you guys know what we're doing. Lift up, feel that in the outer hip. So you're not going just to the side and you're not going straight back. You're doing that little angle. And again, you have that toe turned in so that we get that booty work. And then if you want to add on a little bicep curl, that's awesome. That'll create a little extra tension at the top of your range of motion. Last time, we're going to hold both of those things, hold that bicep, hold that leg, and then bring it down. Bring that band into the same hand. So left hand, left leg. We're going to step back, we're going to bend that right knee. And then again, we're going to lift that back leg. We're just going to hold the arm down for now. So this is that straight movement, right? And then as you're ready, arm, try and keep it straight and come forward. So leg goes up, arm goes forward, a little bit of tension on the front of the shoulder, and back in that booty. 2 more. Beautiful, let's hold this one up, both things at the same time, and bring it up. Leave the band in your left hand, and then step into that fold with your right foot, please. And then again, we'll bend that left knee. We're gonna straighten that right leg, turn those toes in, bring that arm so you have some tension, and start with that lift. And again, it's that diagonal lift. When you're ready, you can add that bicep curl for a little extra tension. Two more. Good, hold both. Reach, pull, curl, hold, hold, hold. Bring it down. Same hand, same leg. Lunge on that left leg, turn that right leg back straight behind you, lift up and bring it down. Add that forward arm motion if that's okay with you. And hold it at the top. Bring that down. All right. Without falling over, take your band off your feet, bring it down to the ground and come on down. We're going to start in a lying down position. Fold that band in half for me, please. And then just bring that either behind your hamstrings if you want to get a nice low back stretch here, or you can place it over your shins and pull down. Totally up to you guys, whichever feels better. But you can use that band to pull the knees closer, roll that tailbone up a little, get a little extra stretch. All right. And then again with that band folded in half, you just want to hold it loosely between the thumb and the index finger so you're not cramping your hands too much. We'll start with ab prep, deep breath in. Exhale, poke a hole in the ceiling with your hands, reach your arms overhead and see if you can stretch the band just a wee bit while you're up. And then exhale down. Here we go again. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift. Inhale, stretch and reach. And exhale down. And we'll just keep that going on the breath. Remember, you're exhaling on movement. You're inhaling at the bottom and you're inhaling at the top when you stretch and reach. Beautiful. We're going to come up one more time. We're going to stay here. We're going to bring that band behind our head, give ourselves some support, elbows to the sky, let the head rest in the band, and that should feel kind of nice. And then stack those legs tabletop, extend the legs, stretch the arms overhead, open arms and legs, exhale back to center, bend the knees, support your head. So it's just a little modified double leg stretch. Inhale, open, exhale, support. Inhale, open, and exhale, support. And we reach and support. And we're going to reach and support. If it's bugging you, just leave the head down and just go here. If it's bothering your neck. It is extra tension on the neck when we have the bands, just like when we have the weights. 2 more here. And then on that last one, we're going to hold, legs extended and reaching, pointing those toes, arms overhead, abs in, back of the neck is long. For 3, 2, 7, 22, and 1. Take a little break. Let's put that band safely around the bottom of the right foot. Now you guys know, if it feels like your band at any point is going to slip, you're going to double protect, right? So double protect means the band goes over the top of the foot and then around behind. And then I'm going to put those the tail end into my right hand, I'm gonna try and keep the right shoulder on the ground, keep my left knee bent for now, and I'm gonna start some beautiful leg circles. I'm gonna reverse my direction every time. I'm gonna inhale to start my circle, and I'm gonna exhale to finish it. I'm gonna reverse, inhale, exhale, finish the circle. So as you're doing this, you're trying to keep those hips nice and quiet. If you want, if you have that flexibility, straighten out the left leg, flex through that heel, and put that leg on the ground. And if you want, try and make your circles bigger. But again, the name of the game is there's stability in your hips. I always say this, I like so much doing leg circles with the band. It just feels like you can have so much more control and you can keep your hips quieter. Beautiful. Next time you come to the top, you're gonna just switch feet. If you did that double lasso, you may have to bend your knee in. If you want to try it the other way, that's fine. So point those left toes, right knee is bent to start with. We start with those circles. Inhaling to start your circle, you exhale to finish the circle, and you go the other way. And again, if you'd like, you stretch out that right leg on the ground. You try and get that thigh a little closer. Try not to have too much bend, but as straight as you can get it. And then again, you can see if maybe your circles can be a little bit bigger. Then we're going to come back to center. We're going to put both legs in there. Again, if you feel it's safer, go ahead and put that band across the top, around your arches, and crisscross. Totally up to you guys. All right, so this time, one band in each hand. Try and get those shoulders back and down. Pull your abs in, pull your ribs down towards your hips. Lower those legs. Hold at your challenge point right before the oops, low back pops up. And then exhale, come up nice and slowly. So it's our supported double leg lower. But because we're using that support, let's make it as perfect as possible. Try to be symmetrical. I usually notice that one side of my hip wants to come up a little sooner than the other. I'm going to try and keep both legs pointed and flex through those thighs. I'm going to try and do it nice and slowly and really feel the work that the abs have to do. And then we'll come up. We're going to disengage that crissy-crossy. We're going to fold that band in half again. We're going to drape it across the hips. One hand just goes through that loop, but you want to try and keep it on your hand, not your arm. And then the other will be holding that tail down. But before you even start, make sure you already have tension. So my band is a little loose, so I'm going to have to choke up my grip just a little bit. And then I'm trying to get all 10 fingers on the ground, which is a challenge initially. And then the wrist and the forearms, the elbows, the triceps, and the shoulders. And then I'm going to lift up in that bridge. And I feel that I have to work pretty hard to keep my hands down. Keeping the hands down, all 10 fingers on the ground, and the wrist push up through the hips, up through the hips. Two more. Beautiful. Bring it down for a quick second. Deep breath in. Adjust your feet if you need to. Exhale. Lift back up again. Let your hands come off the ground this time, but then press them down to touch the ground. Press them down to touch. Keep your hips where they are. Push down with your hands and press and press. So it's almost like that pump from the 100, but slow motion. And then relax down. And we'll put those two things together. So here we go. Hips lift up. Hands are off the ground, but at the same time, my hands go down, my hips lift higher. Hips higher, hands down. Hips higher, hands down. Notice if the knees are wanting to gap apart. Keep them together. 2 more. And relax. This feels like a good time to curl in and take that low back stretch again. Use those bands to help you get a little more stretch, maybe get some movement through the legs. And then we're gonna keep the band folded in half, so there's gonna be a bit of tension on it. Hands, again, between the index finger and the thumb. Left knee lifts in tabletop. Reach through those with those fingers, right? And then I'm gonna stretch that right leg out on the ground to start with. I'm gonna exhale, head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. And then I'm gonna give a little pulse. I'm gonna pull my leg in, I'm gonna press my hands away. Press and pulse, press and pulse, press and pulse. Now, options, bend that right knee back again, or extend it out. And relax. Both feet on the ground. Lift that right leg tabletop to start with. Band across that thigh. Head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. Left leg stretches out. And again, we're resisting. I'm going to pretend on this one. Sorry, guys. Right? So we press and pulse. Press and pulse. Left leg up. Press and pulse. 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 Keep going. And relax. Let's get a little bit of some quad stretch here. So feet go very wide, let that left knee drop in, right leg drops open. Maybe add your right hand to the right inner thigh, left hand to the outside of that left, and push down. And then come on back up through center, other direction, left leg drops open, right leg drops in. Use a little hand pressure if you like. And bring that up. All right, we're going to take that band, still folded in half, behind the thigh, or yeah, behind the hamstrings. Use your biceps to help you roll like a ball. And help keep those thighs the same distance away from your head. And then we're going to sit up. Nice and tall. We're going to lasso those feet the safe way this time. We're all going to go across the front of the feet and then around behind through the arches. So the bands come around the outside and then they're through the arches. And then we're sitting nice and tall. You can separate those feet a little bit, palms to the sky. Give me a little rowing motion here. Engage those shoulder blade muscles. And then bend those elbows, squeeze and lean forward. So that should be a little of a spine stretch. You're welcome to straighten out or widen those legs if you want. And then we're going to come on back. We're going to bend those knees a little bit and find a balanced position here. Arms, whatever you need to do, wide, or you may have to choke up on the band. That's probably going to be your best option because we're going to do our open leg rocker here, right? Using the band to help us get to that balanced spot and to hold at the top and to get that roll at the back. And then next time you come up, go ahead and stay up, find that balance, and then bend those knees. And once again, we're going to untangle those feet. We're going to fold that band in half. We're going to keep that, what we just did in mind. We're going to go back to that in a little bit. Right now, we have that wider grip on the band, shoulders back and down, simple roll down. Exhale at the back, inhale, hold here, or maybe lift the band, maybe separate a little bit if you want some tension. Exhale, come up. Inhale, give it a lift if you like at the top. Exhale, back. Inhale something at the bottom if you want. Exhale up and inhale lift. Good, 2 more. Let's go back on this one. Pause here. See if you could just lift and lower your arms, holding isometric contraction. Abs in, ribs down. And come on up. This is how we just get to completely slump. So bend those knees, roll forward, round your back, let your hands drop wherever. You can grab your toes and pull back on your feet. And then gently come up. We're going to roll over onto our side with our thighs stacked. And we want to take the folded part of the band and we want to take that around so that it ends up on top. And then all I have to do is slide my hand through, it should stay in place. And then I'm going to grab the tail ends with that same hand. We want to knuckle down, right? So I want to push those fingers into the ground. I want to lift and have a mouse house. Let's do that a couple times. Mouse house, and mouse house. If you don't feel any tension on the band yet, choke up on that hand. Keep those knuckles down, heels together. Let's pivot open in a clam. And we're going to keep the tension on the band, but open a little further, and a little more, and a little more. Good, now close, lift, heels in the air, open the legs again, last set from here. Just sort of a little pushing further open. And relax. Hopefully we felt that in that top hip. Feel free to give that hip a little love. You're gonna come up, you're gonna switch it all around. So again, you want to take that folded loop side below, up and around. And then stack everything up, hand goes through, and then grab those tails. Again, you want to start with tension already, knuckle down. Little mouse house. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift. Feet apart, create that tension. Oops. Create that tension and then push a little further open and a little more. Beautiful. Close that, lift those heels, and we press open from there and open more and more. And relax. Hip gets some love. Let's go to single band, right? So unfold it as you roll over onto your abs, please. And then just take a moment, maybe windshield wiper those legs, loosen up that low back a bit. And then straighten the legs. And as always, when we're on our abs, we want our toes pointed, toenails on the ground, but knees lifted, right? So we're not floppy in our quads, we're strong. Then we reach under that band, palms facing the ceiling. You want to have a little bit of tension, or at least hands are just maybe hip distance apart. Deep breath in. On the exhale, pull that belly button in so you're not draping it across the floor. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Then bring your head in line, and that should lift you up. And then stretch those arms down your leg and pull them open just a little bit. Then at the very end, you're going to rotate pinkies to the sky. Exhale down. Inhale, prepare. Everything at once. Belly button in, head lifts, shoulders rotate, open lift. Inhale, pinkies to the sky. And exhale down again. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, squeeze and lift. And rotate at the top. Last time. Hold it up this time, pinkies toward each other, lift a little higher, a little higher, a little higher, a little higher. 3, 2, 1. Let's press back, resting position, hips sit back on your heels. If you want to, make little fists to give yourself some extra space. And then let's come forward, hands and knees, but arms out front. Roll forward, cat and cow, or cow and cat. All right, here's my favorite one with this band. Not my favorite one, but I like to do this, but it's a little challenging. You're going to take that band and put it between your right big toe and your right second toe, if you have flexibility and strength in those toes, right? Because you're going to be holding that band. Then you're going to bring the other end of the band across your left shoulder. So right foot, left shoulder. When you're ready, straighten out the right leg. And then make sure you have a little bit of tension already. Option to simply lift and lower that right leg and feel that extension through your spine. Option to work a little bit of balance with that left hand. An option to lower and lift both at the same time. And relax. We're going to tuck those right toes under for a second, get a little stretch through those guys because they just worked. We'll give them a little love in a few minutes. And then bring that band so you're squeezing it between your left big toe and second toe. And again, you know, if you've had surgery on a toe or anything like that, this might be challenging. You can always wrap it around the foot and see if you can get it to stay there. And then it comes across to your right shoulder. All right, and then just, you know, go ahead and put both hands on the ground, lift that left leg up, have a little tension, and then your option is to lift and lower that left leg. Other option is to lift that right arm for balance, and then tap and lift if you want. So you choose what's best for you. Keep going for me. And relax. And again, tuck those left toes under, push, get a little stretch through those tootsies. And then untangle all that. And we're gonna lasso our feet again across the front, but they're gonna be, no, you can keep them together, right? So kind of have the band as even as possible around the tops of the feet, and then around and back through the arches. All right, so let's remind her, actually, you know what, just stay here for a second. This is good enough. Keep those feet on the ground. Use your biceps to slowly roll yourself down. Inhale at the bottom. Use your biceps to help pull yourself up. Now, you get to start deciding how much do you want to use your biceps? How much do you want to use your abs? I know that you guys are strong. You might not need these bands at all, but because we are using them, see if you can articulate a little better than you normally might on your roll-ups, right? And then next time you come up, we're going to stay up. We're going to see if we can kind of do the same thing with the legs up, right? We're going to try and keep the legs where they are without lowering them when we lift and without lifting them when we lower, right? So if I have them at a, I don't know what angle this is, 115-degree angle, I'm going to try and keep them there. It will help if your hands are closer to your feet, right? And then next time you come up, you're going to see if you can balance and keep your torso still while you lower and lift those legs. And then you know what's coming. We're gonna lower the torso and the legs, and then we're gonna try and lift them both up in our teaser position. Lift up through those shoulders, try and get that low back to come up rather than be rounded. We inhale at the bottom, we exhale, lift everything up. We're gonna inhale and hold at the top, and we're gonna exhale back down again. Just do a few more of whatever level of these you can do. By the way, I didn't say that. We started at one level and we worked our way up. So you are welcome to go back to that very first level, which was simply doing those roll-ups, right? So you're gonna choose whatever works for you, please. And then next time you are rolled down, go ahead and stay down, de-lasso your feet. Take a little break. Take a moment, rest here. And then we're gonna fold those bands in half again. All right, so I know that these bands are very flexible, but we're gonna pretend as if these bands are made of metal so they can't bend. So you're gonna bring that band behind your head, and you're gonna rest your head on the band and your elbows are on the ground. You're gonna exhale, lift your head up, but you're gonna try to avoid this, right? Because that would mean my band could bend. So I'm gonna try and keep my band straight, and I'm gonna try and get my shoulder blades, both of them off the ground. With that one that's facing the camera still off the ground, right? So I'm keeping it up in the air. Then I'm gonna try and rotate to look at the camera without rolling over, right? So I'm not a turtle going wah, wah, wah. I'm trying to lift and then rotate. Inhale back to center, exhale down, same thing other way. Exhale, keep both shoulder blades off the ground as you look to the back of the room. Inhale, center, exhale down. Here we go again, exhale, lift, inhale, rotate, exhale, center and down. Inhale, prepare, exhale, lift, inhale, rotate, exhale, center and down. Inhale at the bottom and lift and rotate. Remember, you're trying to keep your elbows wide. You don't want to see them in your peripheral vision. You want to keep both shoulder blades off the ground as much as possible. Last one to the back. Woo, and relax. I hope you guys felt those. All right, we're gonna lasso those feet one more time across the top, feet together. Trying to have equal length on your bands. And then through the arches. Okay. Whew, there we go. Hands on the ground for now, elbows on the ground for now. Let the legs move to the left as far as you can without them falling. Bring them back through center. Let them move over to the right as far as you can go without them falling. And I'm going to suggest that you take your bands and wrap your hands around them one time. And then let's do that tick-tock motion. Try and keep the feet together, try and keep the knees together. Try and let that opposite hip lift up, but not the opposite elbow or shoulder. And if you're ready, you can turn that into our leg circle or hip circle, right? So you reverse directions, go around and down. Same breathing as your single leg circle, right? So you inhale to start your circle, you exhale to finish it, you come back to center, you go the other way, inhaling it and exhaling. And then again, make it as big as you want, right? You can lift both hips up and over if you like. You can get those legs as far to one side as you like, but notice if that opposite elbow comes off the ground. Couple more like that for me, please. And then relax. You're going to keep the band on just the right foot for now. And let's go ahead and put it parallel, right? So your foot is parallel with the band. And then I want you to pull your right hand so close that your right toes are pulled back already. Then try and get your right shoulder blade on the ground. Press the ball of the foot towards the ceiling. Feel a deep stretch through your toes. and then push the toes toward the ceiling. Then we're going to pull the toes back, press the ball of the foot towards the ceiling, press the heel towards the ceiling. Now I want you to turn your toes pigeon-toed, do that same thing. Toes go up, or heel, ball of the foot goes up, then toes follow, toes come down, and then heel. Then turn your toes out, so duck-footed, press the ball of the foot up, and then the toes come back, and the ball of the foot, and the heel. And then come back to center, and just press through that a couple times, with your own breath, or as quickly or as slowly as you want. Good. And then flex the toes, keep them pulled back towards your face, loosen your grip enough that you can get your right elbow on the ground, and let that right leg hang in space. So it's a passive stretch for the inner thigh, passive stretch for your hamstring. Bring that arm up and over, grab hold, turn your toes in, stretch your left leg out on the ground, flex through that right heel, put your left elbow down, and feel that delicious stretch on the outside of the right hip. If it feels like a lot, you can bend that left knee. You're still going to get that beautiful left stretch. You just won't get as much on the hammy. No big deal. And then we'll bring that back to center. We're going to square it up. We're going to pull it down and in, get that knee really close to the chest. You can see my leg is shaking from this, this stretch on the hammy. And then I'm going to even try and press the leg straight for more tension or more stretch. Move through that band, and then take that band off, take that right ankle across the left thigh, pass in figure 4 for a moment, and then we'll thread the needle and extend that left leg up, point and flex through that left foot so we can feel the difference in a minute, and then we'll bend it, we'll crisscross all the way, legs go to the left, nice big twist. And then we'll come back through center. We're going to lasso that left foot. Again, we're going to try and go parallel with that band. And we get a really close grip. And then we press the ball of the foot to the sky, and then the toes follow. And then the toes come back, ball of the foot, heel. And let's turn them in, pigeon-toed, toe, heel, ball of the foot, and then toes. And then toes pull back, ball of the foot presses, heel presses. Let's go duck-footed. So we press the ball of the foot and then the toes, and then we pull them back. Then come back to center and just move through that range of motion. And then we'll slacken up a little bit so our left elbow can rest on the ground, feeling that stretch across the right, or excuse me, the left hamstring and inner thigh. We're going to bring that back to center as we straighten out our right leg. We're going to turn those left toes in and drop that right elbow on the ground. Big stretch for that left hip. Again, if you want, you can bend that left knee. It still gets you that hip stretch, just not as much in the hamstring. Then we'll come back through center. We're going to bend that left knee, choke up on the band, pull those toes back, feel that hammy stretch. And even keeping everything where it is, just straighten the leg as much as possible. And then let go. Cross that left ankle over the right thigh. Passive figure 4. And then thread your needle. That right leg can go up. We point and flex and rotate. Then we're going to crisscross. Bend both knees. Arms open. Knees drop right. And then come on back through center. Put both knees in, take a little rock side to side. You choose if you want to rock side to side, if you want to roll like a ball, or stretch your legs out and do a roll up. And then meet me on your hands and knees, please. Let's do a staggered cat-cow. So right hand forward, left knee a little bit ahead, cow forward, cat back. Good, and then square everything up. Left hand forward, right knee forward, same thing, cow forward, cat back. And then we'll square everything, one more cat and one more cow. Tuck your toes, press those hips up. As always, feel free to pedal out those feet. This is that second opportunity to get some stretch through those toes. And then wide stance. Hang over, nod yes and cheek no. Bend your knees, hands on your thighs. Exhale, cow. Inhale, cow. Thank you, guys.